Well, a couple minutes later, and I guess you can see what I got. The old rake handle broke. I put this one on there, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, so it's all done. Anyway, being the pack rat that I am, I think I have a brand new rake handle around here somewhere, leaning up in the corner. So I guess I'm going to go find that and put a handle on this rake, or find another rake that's missing a handle and put a handle on it. We'll go figure digging around, and what I got here is actually a shovel handle, not a rake handle. It's got this bend in it. It does have a hole in the end. The rake here has 2 rods, but thinking if I oval out that hole a little bit, I can make it work. And then I was thinking about it, I'm always leaning over trying to use the rake, which isn't good for my back, to get the right angle on it. If I mount it with the tines down from the curve, like that, I'll be able to stand up straighter and get the same angle. The handle isn't quite as long, but it'll be plenty for what I'm doing. But that'll give me a better angle on this, so I guess I'll have to get this old one off of here and see if I can make it work on this handle, being as I'm too lazy to go to the store and get another handle. A lot of times I found also it's actually cheaper to buy a new rake than to buy a handle. The key to handles on like shovels and things like that, if I can show this, I don't know. I dig through every single one. I like the wooden handle. I dig through every single one in the store before I pick which one I want. And what you're looking for, I don't know if I can show this. You're putting pressure on it this way. So what you're going to want is the grain running this way in the handle. You don't want it flat because you'll snap it off, kind of like this. This got snapped basically because it's been out in the rain for years. I just leaned it up against the porch. But you want the grain running this way. Same deal on a shovel. You're always shoveling and prying this way, so you want the grain straight this way, and you want it as tight as you can get it. The tighter the grain, the stronger it is. This one here has some big wide grains in it. I don't know if we can see that. Put it up here and maybe it'll show. Okay, what I got is, I don't know if this is the way to get this off of here. A lot of times you can just chuck them in a fire and burn the handle out of it. But for the sake of getting this done now, I'm going to do it this way. I went ahead and cut the handle off here, left myself an inch or so. And then I was going to see if I can split that wood there. I better get some glasses on. Here we go. See if I can split that handle up and get bits of it out of there and knock that rake handle or that rake off of there. And then I'll go about trying to figure out how to mount it in the other handle. And this may or may not work. I may just run a drill bit up inside there and chew some of the wood up. See if that works out. Doesn't look like she's going to split this way very well. No. Oh, maybe I can see a little bit of the hole up in there now. So let's see what happens here. See blood in my future. Kind of the way I do sometimes. That doesn't look like it's going to work out, so I think I'm going to end up probably just drilling up inside there, chew that up, and then see what goes. Yeah, because this is definitely not loose yet. How am I going to do that? Maybe I can do this. Get down on both of those tubes, both of those chunks of metal. Trick's going to be to get in there. Not looking good. I don't think it's moving at all. So there are other methods, I guess. Maybe I'll have to use one of them. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Well, I guess you can see what we got here on the end of the rake. It's got this double deal here with a little hole in the middle, and so I'm going to take a measurement there from a known mark so I know where to drill my hole, and I'll run a little pin through to hold it on that other handle. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and drill a little taper both directions in this piece of wood here so I can do what I'm doing. Okay, see if we can do this. Well, I need to turn that other light on if I'm going to be out here very long. Okay, and then I wanted to have the curve so that the teeth are down below the curve. So that means it goes on here this way. Get it started there. Yeah, right. And give it a couple taps gently. See if I can do this. Alright, it started a little bit. Yeah, it's down there a little bit. So now I got to figure out a better way to smack this thing on here. Maybe I just move the vise around where I can actually get to it. That might work. Looks like I'm pretty good height-wise. Oh, I'm into the table there. So that isn't going to work. Alright. Go ahead and leave that there. Get a chunk of wood and smack on the end of this guy. Alright, I'm down into the vise now. So I gotta get another bite on it. Somehow. I guess I'll just try it. Oh yeah, no, that ain't gonna work. I'll just try it on one of these and see if that'll do. Yeah, you should always wear gloves, or you get this kind of crap. Anyway, go figure. Then again, if you don't bleed, you didn't have any fun, right? Okay, my wood's right up there to where the V is, and the handle's into that again, so stay away from those tines, they're pretty sharp. I'll go ahead and try this one more little bit. Before I put my screw in it. Okay, so that's right up in there. Don't think it's going anymore. Well, let's see if we can see what we got here. We got a rake handle that's far too close. That's what we got. Back that out a little bit. Anyway, you can see it's all the way up in there. And now I can do my measurement, drill a hole down through and run a pin through there. And we ought to be good to go. Alright, so got this little tape measure here, this little Carlson. It's actually Carlson and Sullivan. So I got to go back, what was the, it was 2.5 inches from that other, where they come together as a V. So I'll come back 2.5 inches and hope I hit the center of the hole in this guy. We'll see how close we come. I was watching a video earlier today, words of wisdom, protect your hands. Anyway, I don't follow those words of wisdom, but it's alright. It's basically just a small little wound, but I take my old man aspirin, so I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. Anyway, 2.5 inches back, I gotta figure out where that V is. I'm guessing it's probably, let's see, I need a tiny probe there. Must be about 1/4 inch from there. So put a little mark here. Then we'll measure up 2.5 inches and drill our hole and see if we can manage to hit the one that's in there. We'll see. Using a 11/64 drill bit. So 2.5 inches from there is up here, right there. Now theoretically, if I get centered between those two and drill straight down there, I ought to hit that hole in those forks. So we're going to give it a shot here. Okay, yeah. It's right there. So okay. So son of a bitch. Wait. Let's see now. Go ahead and put this little bolt down through there. I think it'll run down in there. I have to screw it down in there. There we go. All the way down in there, and I have just a little bit sticking out here. Just enough to put this little nut on here. And have a tiny bit hanging out, and then I'll be able to peen it, and it'll work out good. And I'm going to have to give that a little bit more of a push there, and then first we need to have our right tool for the job. An anvil, which is actually a chunk of I-beam. I guess you can see that. I was at a scrapyard one day buying some stuff, some metal. Anyway, I saw this laying in a barrel, and he gave it to me for scrap price, and you can't beat that for an anvil. There's that, and then of course, since we're going to be doing a little peening, I got to get my ball peen hammer. Little old socket here to center around there, so I can go ahead and put that down flush. Gives me just a little more room on the other side to tighten that little nut down. 5/16 is too small, it's a 3/8. Go ahead and crank that little guy down on there. Okay, we're down to the point where it's turning the screw, so go back around one more turn. There we go. For the sake of it, I'm going to do it the other way. Put that wrench down. Holder that way. I'm going to have to edit the hell out of this. It's boring. Okay, good and tight. Good and tight. So, got that little guy. And you can see I got a little bit hanging out there, so I get my screw down flush there and then use the round end of this hammer. And I'll peen it out. There we have it, the rake, and it'll actually facilitate me using it without bending over quite so far, even though the handle's shorter. So it's going to work out good. I did notice some of these tines are tweaked a little bit. This one here is out too far that way. The rest of them are in pretty good row, so I'm going to go ahead and bend that guy back where he belongs. And then we ought to be good to go. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that right here on the anvil while I got it. Okay. There we go. I think we're good to go, and we'll go rake the roof. Cool. And I'll go give it a test flight.